Hello Year 7 and welcome to your next geography lesson. The title for today's lesson is Climate in the UK, and the purpose of this video is to go through the tasks 1 to 5 in a little bit more detail. You might want to watch task 1 and then pause the video and then complete task 1 on the PDF or the Word document, and then watch task 2, then pause the video and complete task 2 on the PDF or the Word document, and so on and so forth. Or you might choose to watch the video all the way through and then complete the activities afterwards. So let's start with task 1. You have been given a definition of weather, and then you have to describe what the weather is like in the UK by using the images on the screen. So the weather describes the day-to-day conditions of the atmosphere. So it might be raining, it might be cloudy, it might be hot, it might be cold, it might be dry. And the UK experiences many different types of weather. So we use these images to identify the different types of weather that the UK faces. So we can see here that in the top left-hand image, it's very snowy, just like the weather is today as I'm recording this video. You also could suggest that it's quite cold, and it also looks like it's not very clear, so that it's poor visibility. In this next image then, we're at the beach. So the fact that we're at the beach, people have coats on, which would suggest it's still quite cold. There's another person with a coat on there. However, it looks quite bright, so it might be sunny. Okay. Now this next image here, you can see again, it's very snowy, it's cold because they've got their hat on, and the visibility once again is quite poor. In this image at the bottom left, we can see, if you actually look very carefully, you can see it looks like there's condensation occurring, or it could be actual rain falling. So it's not really clear what it is, but it's very obvious that it's raining because they all have umbrellas. So it's raining. It looks like it's quite windy. People are holding their umbrellas in a certain direction, suggesting that the rain is coming in like this. So it's windy, it's raining, and quite cold. And then in this final video here, you can see that this girl in the foreground has a dress on, which would suggest that it's quite sunny, it's quite warm, and the visibility is very good. It's not very cloudy at all because the sky is clear. So we use those images to describe how the weather is very different, and we're going to look at lots of different locations around the UK and decide how the weather is different and how the weather is similar. Okay then, so task 2. What we need to do for task 2 is describe the location of different parts of the UK. Now, before we describe the climate in these different parts of the UK, we need to know where they are. So you can see here that we have 4 locations we're going to look at in more detail. We have Oban, Dundee, Cambridge, and Falmouth. So for this activity, we need to describe the location of each of these places. So we'll do one example together, and then you can use the sentence starters on your PDF or Word document to help you do the rest. So we're going to do Dundee. So Dundee is found in Scotland. Dundee is found in Scotland. And then you have to decide whether you think it's found in the centre or in the middle of the country, or whether you think it's on the border. Now, I would say it was quite close to the coastline. So I'm going to say Dundee is found in Scotland, near the coast. I'm going to write in brackets C. And now we need to decide whether we think it's in the north, the east, the south, or the west of Scotland, and I would say it was found in the southeast of Scotland. So Dundee is found in Scotland, near the coast, in the south east. So you would do the same thing for Oban, Falmouth and Cambridge. Okay, so you might choose to pause video here or carry on to task 3. So task 3 then, we are going to interpret the climate around the UK. So we're going to look at Oban, Falmouth, Cambridge in a little bit more detail, and you are going to describe the climate of these places using climate graphs. So we're going to do the example of Oban together. So first of all, we're going to look at the rainfall. So we need to remember our knowledge from when we did climate graphs to identify which is showing as rainfall and which is showing as temperatures. So remember that the bar chart is rainfall and the line graph is temperature. So the wettest month is the area that has the highest bar chart, which I would say was this one. So that is December. So the wettest month is December, and it was roughly about 240 millimeters of rain. The driest month is the smallest bar chart, which I would say was May, and the rainfall was about 85 millimeters, give or take. Now, when we do the range, we do the biggest number take away the smallest number. So we would do 240 take away 85, which gives us a score of 155 millimeters. So that's the answer to the precipitation range. Now, when we do the average, this is a little bit more time consuming, and you might choose to not do this if you're running out of time. But you would add up the rainfall for every single month. So you would add up January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Add them all up together, and it actually gives it you here. So the total rain for then was 1,797. And we would divide this number by 12 because there are 12 months. So we do 1,979 divided by 12, and that gives us a score of 164.9 millimeters. So on average, each month there are 164.9 millimeters of rainfall in Oban. And then you do the same thing for hottest month, coldest month, temperature range, and temperature average. Okay, so you might want to pause the video here whilst you complete the description of the 3 climate graphs around the UK. Now, you don't have to describe all 3. You might choose to describe 2 of them if you're running out of time, but if you want to describe all 3, then you can. Task 4 then, we need to compare these climates around the UK. And you have been given these sentences. So you need to fill in the gaps by using the climate graphs and also your knowledge from task 3 to help you. So, for example, the UK is generally warmer in. Well, we need to identify which area has the warmest temperatures, and I would say it was either Falmouth, which is 17, or Cambridge, which is 18. So we'll say Cambridge. So the UK is generally warmer, and we'll put in here in Cambridge, compared with, and then we have to look at which area has the coldest temperatures. So the coldest temperature in Oban is roughly 1 degree, and the coldest temperature in Cambridge is roughly 3 degrees, and the coldest temperature in Falmouth is 5 degrees. So we would say the UK is generally warmer in Cambridge compared with Oban. Okay, and then you have to say what the temperature was in Cambridge and what it was in Oban, and in what months, and then you do the same thing for rainfall. So you identify which area has the highest amount of rainfall versus which area has the lowest amount of rainfall. So the UK is generally wetter. Well, it's very clear here in Oban that there's lots and lots of very high bar charts. So I would say that the UK is generally wetter in Oban. And then if you look here at Cambridge, their bar charts are very low. So then we would compare that with Cambridge. So for example, in Oban, the total amount of rain was 1,979, and I would say it fell in the whole year. Whereas only 558 millimetres of rain fell in Cambridge for the whole year. Okay, so obviously what you've written might be different to what I've written, but you just have to interpret the climate graphs to put some sentences together to compare them. Okay then, task 5. So task 5 is an extension task, so you only need to complete this activity if you still have time. So we need to answer the 6 questions on our PDFs or Word documents by using these 2 maps. So this is looking at rainfall, which is measured in millimetres, and then the relief is looking at the height of the land, and that is measured in metres. Okay, so which part of the UK has the highest rainfall? So we're looking at the key. So we're looking for these dark blue areas, which is generally in the north and also in the east. Okay, and then you'd say how much rainfall fell in those parts. Well, it's over 2,000 millimetres because it's that dark blue. And then you need to compare the 2 maps together. So the third question says, what was the height of the land in the places where the rainfall was the highest? Now, if we look where the rainfall is the highest here, you will notice that that is where the land is over 400 metres. So if I'm just going to shade over where it's the darkest, you notice there. And similarly, up here, where the rainfall in the north of Scotland is the highest, it also has a height of over 400 metres. So in the areas where there's the most rainfall, it also has the highest relief, so it's over 400 metres in height for both locations. And then you do the same thing again for looking at the areas that have the lowest rainfall and also the relief. So if we compare this together, it's very obvious that areas with high levels of rain have or are mostly found in areas of high relief. So if the height of the land is higher, the rainfall is higher. And actually, if you look, in the areas where the rainfall is lower, so in the southeast of England, you'll also notice that the height of the land is also lower. So there's a direct relationship between the two. The higher the land, the higher the rainfall, the lower the land, the lower the rainfall. If you have any questions while completing tasks 1 to 5 or tasks 1 to 4, depending on how much time you have, you can send me a message on It's Learning, but hopefully this video is very clear and helps you understand exactly what you need to do. Now, once you have completed the tasks, you need to make sure that you collate all of your information and you send it to me on the assignment that has been assigned to you. So if you've taken photographs, you need to submit your photographs. If you've done it on a Word document, then you can submit your Word document. And if you're struggling to attach your work to the assignment, simply send it to me on a message on the It's Learning app. Have a lovely day.